Hello everybody, here's Thomas responding Colins' new video where he tried to answer the David Wood's allegation against Muhammad. Basically, he raised 2 points and I will talk about them. First, the story of satanic verses, and second, magic on Muhammad, or was he inflicted with black magic, etc. He talked about some other points like scientific miracles of Quran, which I think I will discuss very soon with him, as I like to hear his views on them too. Now to the first topic of satanic verses. Ozzy claimed that the whole story is fabrication and made up by liars and enemies of Islam. Well, Mr. Collins, my dear, you are less informative here. You criticized Ibn Ishaq and said that he quoted liars while mentioning the incident of satanic verses. Ibn Ishaq is considered a great biographer of Muhammad. Even Muslims acknowledge this, and you know this too. But only because he wrote something which you don't like does not give you any right to criticize his work. His work is important, either you like it or not. He was one of the earliest biographers of Muhammad, so his knowledge is more acceptable than the hadith or the hadith collector, which came much later. He was a devoted Muslim and supposedly loved Muhammad as much as you do. Why would he do this? Why he wanted to damage the reputation of his master Muhammad? This does not make any sense. It is beyond comprehension that Ibn Ishaq, a devoted Muslim, would like in order to tell a story which is damaging to Islam or for Muhammad himself. According to him, when Muhammad first began preaching in Mecca, his desire was that the people of Mecca, the Quraysh, would accept him as the prophet and the religion he was teaching. They were not receptive to him and made life difficult for him and his followers, and many of his followers had to flee to Christian Abyssinia for protection. This was until Muhammad recited Surah 53, the Surah Al-Najm, with the following verses. Have you thought of Allah, Al-Uzza and Manat the third? These are the exalted Quranic, a high-flying bird, whose intercession is approved. Quoting Ibn Ishaq here. Allah, Al-Uzza and Manat were some of the local idols worshipped in Mecca. Previously, Muhammad had spoken against them in his monotheist preaching, but now he recited that their intercession is approved. When Quraysh heard that, they were delighted and greatly pleased at the way in which he spoke of their gods, and they listened to him. Then the people dispersed, and Quraysh went out delighted at what had been said about their gods, saying, Muhammad has spoken of our God in a splendid fashion. Again quoting Ibn Ishaq. The Apostle of Allah, may Allah bless him, repeated then the verses, and he went on reciting the whole of Surah 53 and then fell in prostration. And then the people, the Quraysh, fell in prostration with him. This is from Ibn Sa'd, volume 1, page 237. Imam Bukhari too confirms that after Muhammad recited Surah 53, the Quraysh accepted Muhammad and prayed with him. Narrated Ibn Abbas. This is from Bukhari volume 2, book 19, number 177, translated by Mohsin Khan. The Prophet prostrated while reciting Al-Najm, Surah 53, and with him prostrated the Muslims, the pagans, Quraysh, the jinns, and all human beings. Now it is clear from this hadith that the pagans did hear something which they liked so much that they prostrated with Muhammad. Otherwise for them there was no point even to think they will ever prostrate to someone who did not like their idols. This story makes absolute sense that pagans did hear something or these verses from Muhammad, and they were very happy with Muhammad. You said, Mr. Collins, that Allah removed the verses from Quran because Allah took responsibility of protecting it. Fine. But have you ever pondered why Allah has to do this in first place? Quran is written and preserved on tablets in heavens, and hence you believe Allah did something took some actions and removed what Satan has injected in it. In Surah 22, verses 52, never sent we a messenger or a prophet before thee, but when he recited the message, Satan proposed opposition in respect of that which he recited thereof. Allah abolished that which Satan proposed. Then Allah established his revelations Allah is knower, wise. It is clear from this verse that A. Satan was able to propose something. B. Allah had to abolish that. C. Allah abolished his revelation and then established his revelation. Now, just to read this verse, it's absolutely clear that the Satan was indeed successful fooling Muhammad, and if this was not the case, then Allah did not have to take any action. He took these actions in order to remove what Satan had revealed to Muhammad. So what was in the Quran which is removed now because of Satan's proposition? What could it be? Maybe you can enlighten us about these words of Satan. Now, the topic of Muhammad being inflicted with black magic. Again, we have to understand the time of Jahiliyyah and customs of Arabia of that time. It was common understanding of people that some people can do black magic and people can be inflicted with it. Even Muhammad believed that black magic is real, and he had some ways to protect being inflicting with it. He said, and I quote once again from Sahih Bukhari, Volume 7, Book 65, number 356, narrated by Sa'd. Allah's Apostle said, "He who eats 7 ajwa dates every morning will not be affected by poison or magic on the day he eats them." In one other hadith, Muhammad said, this is again from Sahih Bukhari, Volume 4, Book 54, number 491, narrated by Abu Huraira. Allah's Apostle said, "During your sleep, Satan knots 3 knots at the back of the head of each of you, and he breathes the following words at each knot. The night is long, so keep on sleeping. If that person wakes up and celebrates the prayer and the praise of Allah, then 1 knot is undone. And when he performs ablution or wudu, the 2nd knot is undone. And when he prays, all the knots are undone. And he gets up in the morning lively and gay, otherwise he gets up dull and gloomy." So it is clear he believed that black magic works, and he had some remedies to cure it too. Now, when Muhammad came from cave after first revelation, his first reaction that he saw Satan, then it's not unusual, as he lived in a society where these things were common. Now, question is why he thought that Gabriel is a Satan in first place. Does not Allah knew this was going to happen? He did not help Muhammad at all, and he had to go to Khadija and his cousins for help. And only after their help he was calm. It is also clear from Quran itself that the Quraysh specifically charged that Muhammad was indeed Majnoon. And Majnoon is man possessed, like in Surah 44:14 and in Surah 37:36. It is said a poet possessed, or charged him as a poet possessed, and that a jinn has seized him. Then Surah 34:8. On many occasions Muhammad is consoled in the Quran against such charges. For example, "Thou art not, by the grace of the Lord, bad or possessed." Also read 68:2 or 81:22. And is cleared of charges that he is seized with a jinn, Surah 7:184. Those constant declarations in the Quran that the revelations were not from diabolical sources yield the impression that Muhammad's fears in this respect were not conformed just to the first 2 visions he had. So it is clear that Muhammad, he believed that he was inflicted either with Satan, or he had fear about these things. Now, when we have stories from Bukhari that he was inflicted with black magic, or magic where he thought he did something where he have not, it is clear something was wrong with him. These clearly said he was inflicted with magic. Can you explain us, Mr. Collins, that if he was Allah's prophet, and if Allah is saying in Quran that if he is not possessed with demons or he is not Majnoon, then what is the point of letting him infected with the magic in first place? Thank you very much for listening. Peace be with you all.